Now this here that you can see is a liner out of a TE20. It's 85mm bore in here. It's a later one, the early ones were 80mm. This is the top of the liner, then this shoulder here, that sits down into the block. With the older ones had a gasket there, but the newer ones there's a copper ring goes down there. So what we're actually making is a puller to pull this sleeve. So the piston for this engine, it has on the top here 84.95, you can see it there, 84.950, and the skirt of the piston sits up there. This is upside down, normally it would go the other way. So this is a nice fit in there, you've got a little bit of room in there. So what we're doing in making this liner puller, we're actually making a disc with a shoulder on it. Now the small diameter of the disc will fit up inside the liner here. There'll be a hole in the centre of the liner for a thread or a pulling bolt of some sort, and the outside of the disc will be smaller than this diameter. When we make this disc, it'll have a shoulder on it, and the smaller of the two surfaces will fit up inside here, and we're going to try for 84.995 in there somewhere millimetres. And on the outer lip, the outer will be the same size as here. So we're going to give ourselves a piece to come up in here about 5mm deep to locate it nicely. We're going to give ourselves a shoulder to push on this surface here and hold it nice and true, and we're also going to have clearance that it can come out of the block. Now this diameter here, you can see a little line, yep, you can see a line there. This diameter here is slightly bigger than this diameter here. So we're actually going for the smaller diameter on the liner. We'll have to, the process of doing it will be at the start here. We're using our new 6-jaw. The process is to bring this down to around 84.950 and drill a hole, and that will leave us a shoulder. Then we can turn this drop around, hold it in the 6-jaw once more, and we can finish to size the outer diameter here. So it doesn't have to be an exact size, it's just got to give us clearance. So if we're a thou or two here or there, it doesn't matter. So we'll set up, we'll zoom in, and we'll start dropping this down to 84.950. Much deeper to get the chips sorted out because I'm so close to everything. So we'll see how far we have to go. I'll get the right verniers, that'll be a start. So we're looking for 85 and we got 95, so we've got 10 to go. So What's Harold say? I'll put you to sleep. We'll get you back when we come across. Here we go. I overshot my mark a little bit. Got me maths balls up, but we're going. We've got a little bit of movement there. And look, we're about 20 thou, oh, probably 25 thou. So half a mil, we'll call it half a millimetre. So, but that's alright, we still have a flat surface down the bottom, so it's not going to matter. We're good with that, it'll work just as well. Yeah, I was bloody doing me maths wrong. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So what we need to do now is we can pop this out. Actually, no, I won't. I'll bore the hole and do the bottom recess later on. Now this is a bit hot. It's only hot when you pick it up. I'll bring this fellow in. Oh boy. So we're going to work out what our gap is here, put a couple of parallels, and I'd like to move this shoulder just out from the jaws a little bit, so when I do a cut I can go right up and tidy this whole surface up. We'll have to dress this at the back here. So once we know we're true there, true across the front, because this surface and this surface were turned together. So if we drop a couple of parallels in, push him up, try and give ourselves a mil clearance here. We can turn this down, dress this, drill a hole. I've got a little thrust bearing I'm going to put in this one. I haven't had one in one before, but I thought, oh, this one I just felt like doing it. I found a bearing, so we're going to try and use it. Okay, so we found these parallels. And we'll drop one in across these jaws here. I'm going to bring this bloody tailstock up. That's bloody hot. I'll pull this tool out just for safety's sake. Look at that, I've just run out of bloody room. Okay, that's against the two parallels. And we'll nip each jaw up. Okay, that should be nice and safe. I'll take the tailstock back and try and not wreck everything as I go. Bit of an effort that. We'll pop our favourite tool post in. And we'll run across the front here. Look, what we're doing is tidying this up. This is where I cut it off in the bandsaw. So we'll run that across. Okay, we'll get some of this out of the way. We'll just dress across the top here, and what I'll do, I'll come through. If I zero it out there, I'll bring it back 1/2 millimetre. Actually, I'll bring it back 1, I do have room. That's 40 thou. I can even bring it back further. I'd like to come back as far as I can. Might be as fat as the Starrett ruler. We still have plenty more. Okay, we'll zero the DRO out there. And that gives us 60 thou between here, the jaw, and where the tool will stop. So we've got a clearance built in there now. Okay, we'll just tidy this up a bit and we'll just see, we'll do a couple of quick runs until we get close to where we want to go. Okay, this should get us right down to size, I believe, the last cut. Now the measurement on the bottom of the line of that little narrow section we're going for, oh actually I zeroed it out on there, so see how we go. So we're 0.04 of a millimetre larger than the line. I might just do a spring pass there, I think. Taking back to our 0 mark. And this doesn't have to be exact, it's just got to be under that mark. So I'll just do a little spring pass and just see what difference it makes. 0.1 of a mil, 0.01 of a mil is about 4 tenths. And that was hardly a shine up, so I'll show you what we're doing here. So all I'm doing really is popping the verniers are good enough for this. I'm just popping the verniers across the top there, zero him out, we have a 0, bring him down over here. So we're minus 0.4. So we're just under the minor diameter of the liner, which is this, yeah, see that little line there, this one here. Now, what's the difference here? So if we have a 0 on the small part, then we measure the large part, 0.2 of a mil, 1/4 of a millimetre 10 thou difference. That's 10 thou difference between this surface here and that surface there, and we're just under this surface here. So we should be okay once we're centralised in. Now I will probably drop a chamfer on this edge, so we have plenty of room to hold the liner, you know, to push on the liner here. And if you'll have a look, there's quite a large chamfer on each liner. So the chamfer is 1 mil, 40 thou smaller. So I'm going to put a chamfer on here so that if we're pulling it up past the block and we're just a little bit crooked for some reason, or this is sitting in a little bit crooked, we're going to self-centre. So I'll see what I've got to do that. I can probably do that later. I'll drop a chamfer on this back edge so it's not so sharp. I don't think I have anything I can just bring straight in down there and be sneaky just yet. But look, we've got plenty of time to do that. Okay, we'll set up next. We'll drill a 3/4 hole through the centre there for our little piece of threaded rod. Right, first up we'll just centre drill it just to try and keep everything true. And I've even got a 3/4 drill here that I might just jam straight through. I was making bushes the other day and it seemed to work okay, so we'll have a go, eh? No pirate hole. Okay, 3, 2. Okay, we'll just give this a go. See how we end up. Really only drilling on one side. Okay, that's our centre hole done. We'll put a bit of a chamfer on. I'm going to machine this out a little bit yet, but we might just take the burr away, just for safety's sake. I'll tidy up all this here. I'll go and find the little bearing. I've got a little bearing, and we can come in with a boring bar and just put a little recess to hold it true, and that'll help hold the whole show central. Then the bearing is actually a 5/8 ID, where this is a 3/4 ID. And on our puller bar, we're actually going to machine the end of the puller bar down to take that. Then we're going to thread it and put a captive nut on the bottom of it. So we'll see how we go. This is the bar we're using in the puller, and look, it's just a bit of 3/4 threaded rod, and this is one I had made up years ago, and we just used to put a 1/2 inch hex on this end for a single hex socket. So you can put a nice long single hex socket there, 1/2 inch drive, and really give it something to pull it out. And on this other end we just used to have a nut welded on, and the idea was that when you had your puller, you just popped it down. This was welded on so it'd turn up on the end here, and over time you would chowder up the hole and have to clean it up a little bit and do a few things like that. So what I found that I had in stock here was an old thrust bearing, and even though it's only 5/8, what I can do down this end, I can machine this down to 5/8 to take the thrust, then put a nut down this end that's 5/8 UNF, a nice long nut I have, and we can actually, that'll give me a nice slender nut down the bottom, but it'll also give me a wide surface here. So with it doing that, this will help centralise the puller, and it'll give us a nice thrust surface when we put that bearing in there. I think I've got a couple of these end pieces. I don't know what happened to the other bits, but they must be out of something I was playing with ages ago. So look, all we're going to do, we're just going to grab a boring bar, we're just going to bore this until that has a little recess in the bottom there to sit in there, and all we have to do with this to have this finished then is take this burr off the front edge, which we can do with a file. Okay, we've got a little boring bar here. We're not going very deep, so look, all I'm going to do with this is peck away until I get something that this will just sit into, and that'll give me my OD, and we'll leave it at that. Look at that. That's all we need. We might just go a tad deeper with that. So now we've got our 0 mark. Where are we? Bring that back to 0. I'll tidy up that burr. Might speed this up a bit, just poking along there like an old granddad. Okay, that should give us just a little something to retain that bearing in. We'll get rid of this internal burr again. This is all pretty sloppy machining, it just doesn't need to be. Anyway. So that should be that bit just for the moment. We don't need to ream the hole there or anything like that. It's just a puller. Okay, we need to get rid of that burr. Okay, and that's just going to be the little slug. Now it has to fit up the end of the liner there. And what I may do, I may just pop him in, see if I can get him true again, and just chamfer this front edge so when it comes up into the housing there's no problems. So I'll get that set up and I'll come back. Okay, I've got him turned around. I used our parallels against the back here once more, and the idea is just to put a chamfer here. Now if you remember, there was a 40 thou chamfer we needed, if that, and the idea of this is just to guide it up through the block, so if things get out of whack here a little bit, you can just give it a bit of a wriggle and it'll line up nicely. So I've brought the tool across, I've got it on a bit more of an angle round this way to get a better angle on the chamfer, and I've just set it up there so I can clear this, but I've got a reasonable angle, so I must just go in this way, not that way at all. So let's see how we go. I think that would be okay. So we've got a little bit of movement there, like I said, but even if we did get a little bit crooked, that little chamfer there, that will guide us out without damaging the block at all. So I'm quite pleased with that. Nothing more, I might just give that a little rub like that. There was just a little burr there, and actually that's a nicer chamfer anyway. Okay, we'll take this out. That's all the lathe work done for that little piece. That'll sit in there and that'll give us a nice little bearing surface area to make it nice and easy to turn. Well, that's my story anyway. I've got to make mine flasher than Gordon's, you know. Boy, that takes some doing. They did a lovely job. Okay, next move.